Hey guys, today's something a little bit different. It's going to be the very first of my more tutorial style art videos, so I don't want this to take too long. I want it to be fairly short and sweet, but today I'm going to be focusing on how I do eyes. I do get asked from time to time how I draw them, how I color them, so I'll give you some insight on what I do. So I apparently suffer from something called floating head syndrome, or at least that's something that Callie and I had called it many, many years ago. So when I'm drawing a face, I usually draw a circle and kind of roughly where I want my eyes to go. If they actually go there is another story. So in Sai, which is what I'm using, I am going to take the opacity of this particular layer, layer 1, down a bit, just so I can kind of see where this circle is. I am going to take a new layer, and I do tend to draw in pink, so bear with me. So let's do a massive eye, just so I can kind of show you what I do. So I like doing the upper lid first, and then, let's say, right about there. Oop, undo. There we go. And then it's up to you if you want to add things, really. I mean, you can add some eyelashes, some bigger ones to the side. So, yeah, it's an eye. I do like drawing the eyelid creases as well. And let's give her an eyebrow, because eyebrow. Now, whenever I do this, I am really bad about drawing the other eye. So there are some fantastic artists out there who have really useful information, but I usually just throw an eye down and then fix it with the selection tool. I suppose it's a scapegoat, and it's not obviously useful for traditional artwork, but yeah. Right. So you can put different types of eyes. So if I want her looking to the side like this, I could, or I could do an eye like that, so she's kind of looking down, or more like that, so she's looking up. She's kind of cross-eyed here, isn't she? So for this, I'm going to make it a bit easier and just have it so she's looking in that direction. And just because I want to see her, yeah, there we go. Whee! And a smiley face! So that head didn't fit inside of the circle at all. So, this is actually a fairly clean sketch, where usually it's like all over the place like this. That's how I usually sketch. So just for the sake of time, I'm just going to make that black. So I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to put layer 3 underneath layer 2. So the layer 2 is my line art layer, and layer 3 will be my coloring layer. Now how I usually color is I will use the fill option and fill the background. That way I can kind of see what colors I'm working with if I'm doing white. So I'm going to have layer 3 just be a background color, and I'm so sorry if you can hear that noise. Street cleaners like going up and down. And then make a new layer on top of that one. People say I'm a bit layer mad, and yes I am. And for the eyes, I don't like using the fill tool. I like actually doing the whites like this, and I will show you why after. So I do like making sure that the whites go around everything. So it's the entire part of the eye. And then use the fill tool to fill that in. And once again, yes, another layer, which I know really makes people unhappy with me because I use so many of them, but I love using layers because it makes things a bit more versatile for myself. And I really envy people that can use like one layer for everything, because I can't. So there we go. I've filled in my eyes. So I have one layer. Actually, let me see if I can make this a bit... Ah, no, don't close it. So you can see it. There you go. That's better. Right. So layer 2, we'll call this line art. This one is eye color. This is eye whites. And then this is just background. Now, when I do eyes, I usually go with the eye whites first, and I'm gonna hit the preserve opacity. There we go. Opacity, I don't know. So I'm locking this layer down. Now, for the eye whites, I do like either a blue or a purple or something for a bit of shade. So, because that layer is locked, I'm not going to bleed out of this section. So I'm just using my pencil tool. I honestly use the pencil tool for almost everything I do. I use it for sketching, I use it for inking, and I use it for coloring because I'm mostly a cell shade artist. So after I've done my first layer, I'll take this color and just take it down a little bit. And I like adding a little bit of an accent color like this to that base color. So it kind of gives it a little bit more depth to it. Now I'm going to go to this layer, the eye color layer, and you can use the keyboard shortcut. This is on a PC, I don't know what it is on a Mac. Control and Shift. So as you can see, I'm holding down Control and Shift at the same time, and it will let me select what layer I want when I put my pen down. So eye white layer, color layer, line art layer. So for now, color layer. We're going to preserve the opacity of this one as well. And another streak cleaner. I think it's the same one. Anyways, I'm taking the color down, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I like, try that again, there we go. I like trying to keep it somewhat in line, but it honestly does not have to be exact. Cell shading isn't realistic. It's not meant to be realistic. The best bit of advice I've ever been given is be confident where you put your lines. So if it looks like you meant to put your line there without like a squiggly line like that or something, or if you leave it messily like that, that looks like you just half-assed it, and technically I did. But because these are so straight and smooth, I find personally that it makes everything look nicer, especially when you zoom out. I do have a shaky hand normally, so I do have my stabilizer set at 15, but it also helps just get me smoother results. So, and then once again, like I did with the eye whites, I'm doing the exact same thing with the eye color layer. All right. So now that I've got this, I want to put the iris in. So making a new layer, I'll name it iris. I'm going to set this one to multiply, keeping the same color I've already used for this dark shade. And I'm just going to draw a circle. An iris is honestly as easy as that. There you go. And you could take it a step farther if you wanted to, and go a bit darker than that. And give it some more depth. Now this is where I go a bit overboard with my eyes because I use a lot of layers for this. So I'm just going to show you what I usually do. So for this, I'm going to take my selection tool, go to the eye color, and select both. Then above the iris layer, hit new layer. So let's call this highlight 1. Now I'm going to use the pencil tool again, go to this layer, which the keyboard shortcut in Sai is X. Ooh, I'm gonna make that bright, 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 bright white. There we go. All right. Yep, just add some highlight to it. I'm gonna make this the luminosity layer, but take the opacity down. And just add some random ovals, which is just me like tapping the pen. So there you go. And then sometimes I like adding a little bit of white here, or pink, or any color really. Yep. All right, so now she's highlighted. I'm gonna keep, actually no I'm not. I'm gonna go to the eye whites layer and select those. Now this is something I don't do on every picture, but I'm gonna do it on this just to show you. Now I'm gonna go with, say, a purple color, and I'm gonna be using my watercolor brush for this. So I want it to be more of a gradient over the eyes. So after selecting my eye whites layer, I'm going above this highlight layer here. I'll call it multiply. All right, and I'm gonna make that one a multiply layer. So let me get a smaller brush. Yeah, there we go. Now, using this color on top of everything else, I am going to add some shades. Now with this, if I use Control U, which brings up the hue and saturation, I can change the color if I want to. So if I go with blue, actually, no, we'll stick with purple. Yeah, we'll stick with purple. All right. I'm gonna do the exact same, but with the luminosity layer. So what happens if I use this same color, that purple? So you kind of get that brightness going on, and you can adjust that if you want to. Or if you have another shine, I'll make another layer just because. There you go. Again, you don't have to do any of this. Like maybe the sun's coming from the other direction, but just for argument's sake. But like I said, none of this is honestly needed. You don't have to do any of this. It's just something I do. So now that I've got this in, how do you get the whites of the eye? Because I always add whites over it. So let's take white, go back to the pencil. Now, there's no right and wrong. Another one. I just go above my line art layer, so we'll call this white. I just do stuff like that. You can do all sorts. It can come from any direction. So if you have bottom lighting, I hear you, phone. I don't know. Or you have it from over here. Something like that. So, I mean, yeah, that's how I do eyes. Probably not the easiest of ways to show, but Sai is pretty versatile. I don't like drawing in Photoshop, but that's personal to me. There's no right way and wrong way really to do this. It's just what you find comfortable. So hopefully if you've at least taken something away from this, maybe you could try applying it to whatever you do. Or if you want, I would honestly love to see if you try doing eyes like this. Send me either a link to my Instagram so I could see it, which I'm at Yankee Doodles Art, or leave a comment below with a link to what you've done, and I would love to see it. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions about cel shading eyes or drawing tips, let me know and I'll be happy to help you as best I can. Alright, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you next time. Mwah! Bye!